Welcome to the first episode of the Borgata Trilogy with Ree and Lou. Lou,
Hey,
love it that you're here.
I love being here.
Forget it. Like, we know each other now, what, 40 years?
40 years.
I don't know. Where'd the fucking time go? I swear to God.
I have no idea.
I'm thinking I'm going to be 60 in January. Now.
Oh, wow.
Like, I can't.
Well,
I
you
can't,
aged
like,
well, thank God.
Well,
you aged better than me.
Come on.
Yeah, you aged
You're
better
right
than
next to me.
I look like I could be your father.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
Hey, take it easy. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
It's. I think we were. Where were we? We were at a birthday party
In Jersey.
in Jersey. Yeah,
and
we had a mutual friend.
Yeah, we hit it off.
We hit it off right away.
Right away.
I swear. I think that's why.
Right away.
I think that was the purpose of going.
Yeah, right away.
Because then-
Everything's for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we just started hanging out. But unbeknownst to me, you knew.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that you worked for John Gotti at the time.
Well, the Gambinos. Yeah,
The Gambinos, right?
Yeah, I used to be in Pete Gotti's house all the time.
Yeah.
John's brother, oldest brother, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were already with them. How long were you running with them?
Well, when we first met, it was my teen year, my late teen. So I was starting to run with them at the same time. And then I got deeper and deeper involved as our friendship evolved more and more. And we
Right.
got closer and closer. So it was sort of like at the same time. And then I'm spending my days in either, usually in Pete Gotti's house, but somebody's house.
Right.
So I'm in and out of these houses all week. And then I'm coming to your house on the weekends and sleeping there on the weekends.
Which is the best.
Oh, it was wild.
my
We
God.
had so much fun too.
Oh, forget it. My mother would cook for us. We'd go
I
in the
loved your
pool.
mother.
We'd lay on the couch all day, watch movies. It was the greatest. Until, he had to put his 2 cents in and say, you couldn't come anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But,
I figured I'd start, when you told me he knows where you're from,
yeah,
who you are,
right.
what you're about,
Yeah,
I'm coming to your house still because I said, I'm not giving up my friendship.
yeah.
And you said, I ain't giving up my friends to him.
When we were laughing on the couch that day.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it, we were laughing like, yeah.
And you went toe-to-toe to him. Nobody did in your family but you.
Yeah.
Nobody went toe-to-toe with him but you.
Well, and my mother, because my mother, she kept it on the down low. She's like, I think she was praying like secretly that she wanted us to get married or something. I think that was her deal.
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I just, my gay ways would just.
Did your mother, I know your father was old school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I'm coming to your house now after he knows.
Yeah.
And he wants to kill me, I'm sure. So I'm saying, all right, Chin's looking to clip me. I got to watch every time I go in and out of your house. I'm not worried about FBI surveillance. I'm worried about guys from the street.
Right.
So I'm watching back and forth. And I'm saying to myself, though, I'm dying to send a message to him going, look, I'm not fooling around with your daughter. She's gay.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
But I figured he'd never understand that. But your mother, how was your mother? Did she understand it?
Well, after I finally, at 24, I came out.
Right.
But
she was hoping and hoping.
She always hoping,
But she
right?
was
Right
old
to that,
school.
right to that moment. She was hoping that I would.
When people hear that, though, they got to realize your mother was an open-minded person. Mm-hmm. Your mother would never discriminate against gays or you.
Right.
But they're old school people. It's a different, like today's world would go, oh, they're old homophobes. No, they're not. They just don't know enough about something.
Yeah, they were ignorant.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Ignorant and not in like an innocent way, not in the mean-spirited way of the word.
Right.
Then they don't know. Even your father, he's old school. I remember he said, you're going to get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Right? And stop hanging out with them girls. I don't like all them girls.
I couldn't hang out with boys. I couldn't hang out with girls. I was supposed to be a spinster, get married maybe, take care of my mother. I don't know what the fuck he expected, but it wasn't going that way. And I knew that at 11 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mother, I want to say my mother, I know she was hoping against hope. I mean, that was because two things. She was afraid for my soul because that was what they thought back then.
Religious.
Right? Religious. Yeah. And the other piece was she didn't want anybody to hurt me. Right? Because back then, she said to me, Ree, we only knew two kinds. You were either beautiful and you were a lesbian, or you were butch and you were gay. And that's all they knew in the neighborhood.
Right.
And nobody really hung out with them.
Right.
So... And so she explained to me, that's why she was worried, but she made good with it.
Yeah.
She did.
She
She
was
loved
good in the
everybody.
end.
And Bobby, my wife, forget it. Adored her.
Yeah.
Adored her.
Who could not love your mother?
Oh my.
Yeah. Who could not? She was
the
precious. Best. Yeah, she was precious.
The best. So so years and years now going by.
Yeah.
Years and years we're hanging out, we're talking, then all of a sudden, what happens?
Oh, so me and you?
Well, yeah, but
Oh,
then
I'm still thinking about your mother. You know what I was thinking? One last thing about your mother.
God.
You know how like the new like mob wives and stuff, they're
Yeah.
all up in your face about it. You know who my husband is. You know who my father is. None of that with your mother. I just wanted to make sure I wanted to get that out. She
Yeah.
was so low key.
Oh my God.
She was so laid back. It was a different breed of women back
So
then.
different.
It was almost like a sacrifice and a job being the wife of him that she had to like just like grin it and bear what every other chore a woman does in the house. You know, women would chain domestically to home chores, right? Since the beginning of time. She was that old school. It's not like today. It's a different world.
Yep.
But she just coughed it up as like, that's another one of my sacrifices, another one of my burdens that I'm happy to carry. That's what I do.
Yeah, and also she came from a family of, women, unless you're spoken to, even kids, unless you're spoken to, you don't speak.
Yeah.
So it was just it was that time, it was that era. Now I think they do it, the things they do on TV now is, to create a little bit of, chaos and stir because people love that shit.
Yeah, different world.
Yeah. So, but she was, in my world, she was just the greatest.
Yeah, rest in peace. She was
Funny.
great. Yeah.
She didn't even know she was funny.
Yeah.
We'd pee ourselves laughing with her. Yeah. So
You were always funny. You were hilarious.
Well.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who I got it from. Maybe
you
her
were
side of the
hilarious.
family, probably.
Oh, you were hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd roll.
We would roll, stomachs killing us, right? Because once we started laughing, then that was it.
Yeah.
It was. We don't even know we were
And
laughing
you were quick
about
with
it.
one line as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So bring it up to date, like you said, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We're the best of friends,
Yep.
which is great.
We don't stop seeing each other.
Yeah. No, never.
We don't pay
I remember-
attention to what he said.
I used to, I don't know if you remember, obviously you do. I would, if I slept there for the weekend, Sunday morning, I would take you and your mom to the bridge
Yep.
where Bruce was there.
Yeah, and he would take us into the city.
He would take you into the city. I'd drop you off
Yeah.
And,
in Fort Lee.
in Fort Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that guy, I tell you, and this will give a little fast forward. So I never knew who he was. I just knew it was Bruce that your father would send to pick you and your mother up.
Right.
And to me, he's an old man. He's a nice old man. He's quiet. He gets in an old ship box. You guys get in with him and you drive to the city. I never knew until I'm away years later. I'm with Joe Watts and little Vic Arena. And they says, Chin's guy died. Vito Bruce Palmieri. I says, Bruce, Chin's guy? Oh, yeah, he was a big skipper for Chin. Powerful guy, tough guy. I go, what? The old man that I used to... No. That's how low-key your father's Borgata was.
You would never, ever guess Brewster was anything but... Because he drove him. And he would get killed when my father was in the mood. He would slap him. And my grandmother would go at him.
Really?
You can't even imagine.
At Bruce, too?
No, at my
and your
father
father
hitting
for
him.
going after him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
When Bruce got sick,
Yeah.
it was sad. When he got sick, he had cancer. My father sent him to the best facility that that I guess someone brought it to him what the best facility was. They couldn't save him, but my father loved him even though he tortured him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, he was one of the best.
Your father had a clique around him. I knew this from the streets. He had a clique around him, and you knew this. All those guys he grew up with since he's a child. They ran around all the little labyrinths in on the west side together. They played on the same streets, and they grew up together.
Right.
So by the time he's in his 50s, 60s, 70s, these are guys he knows since he's like almost born. You know, I mean, and that's...
They're neighborhood guys.
Yeah,
all
incredible.
neighborhood guys.
That's why they never turned on him.
Yeah.
And then none of those guys ever turned on each other. Where you had all this crap going back and forth with the other families.
Now, forget it,
never had it.
especially
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
There's nothing, there's nothing left.
No.
You know. Thank God.
Yeah, it was
When
a
it
bad
all
thing.
when it all finished, I was grateful for it.
Oh, sure.
Because people, they idolize this stuff. They think, they glamorize it. They think it's this, and it's, unless you live it,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I know it.
Unless you live it, you don't know.
Yeah. I never even wanted to look back on it. So when I became a writer, we get to that too. So I go to jail, right?
Right.
I eventually got 3 cases. I got 2 federal cases, an FBI indictment I got a Secret Service indictment, and I got a state indictment. And between the 3 cases, I'm facing life. And you stuck by me the whole time. And a few friends stuck by me close. My friend Ronnie, my friend Louis, my cousin Donald, you, my sister. My sister's eventually, she got married. Her husband was good. It was a very small circle of people that really, really always there for you.
Right.
And you were one of them, I thank God. And yeah, I remember you coming up
I
to
was
see
happy
me.
to be. I was happy to be.
Precious.
I remember coming to see you.
Yeah.
I remember coming to see you, and I mean, we would talk, whenever you could.
And he would have went nuts, right? He didn't want
I
you
forget
visiting
it,
me
'cause
in jail.
Forget, I didn't even go visit him. I visited him once in jail. I'm coming to visit you, like.
Tell me the story again when he called. He never spoke on the phone for 30 years, and then you get a phone call.
Oh, yeah, because, the towers went down. So he was petrified that something happened to one of us if we were in the city, And so he called the house like it was nothing. He just started talking like it was normal.
And you said, "What the hell is this?"
Right. I'm like, my mother gets
Who's
the
on the
phone.
phone?
She's like, so I'm not picking it up, And that's part of what did him in,
Yeah.
because he was too normal at that point.
Yeah. Well, he had to admit it to save your brothers.
He had to admit it to save obstruction of justice of my mother, my sister, and my brothers.
Oh, they tried to throw your mother in too.
Yeah.
They're bastards, though. Yeah. That's not right. You could say everything he did was wrong. I'm all right with that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
The mob is wrong. The mafia is evil. I'm all right with that. I'm on the other side now. I understand all that.
Sure.
But how they play dirty, to me, is just as disgusting, too.
100%.
That you know this woman, it's got nothing to do with nothing but staying loyal to what? Her family?
Right.
You're supposed to do that.
Which you would have done too. Like if anybody was in the situation, they would have, they love their family.
Yeah, and they play that against you.
Right.
So I feel like that's just it's more treacherous than things that they do to do that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's a whole different ballgame. But anyway, so the
we'll get into all of it.
yeah,
But, yeah. So So you're in jail, right? How long are you in jail for?
So I'm facing life, and how I was facing life, I didn't have any bodies, but I had serious cases where one of them is all heists and hijackings.
Okay.
So every time you're charged with a heist or a hijacking, it's a 10-year statute.
Okay.
And then they take the gun that you use on the crime and they charge you separately, and that's another 5 years.
Okay.
Because that's a separate offense in the federal system.
Gotcha.
So if you get 10 for the crime, 5 for the gun, and you got 10 crimes, you're facing 150 years.
Right on.
Well, yeah. So the government will go, well, that's not necessarily life, but who's living to 170, right? Okay, so
right.
So it is. I'm facing life, and at some point or another, they offer me a plea, and they want to wrap up the cases. And I take 13-year plea. So I got my co-defendants all stood up. There were 7 other guys on the case.
Okay.
So I said to the guys, I go, look, they want to give me 13 years, but they were giving them 10, 9, 8 down the line. They had me as the quote-unquote mastermind, although I wasn't much of a mastermind at the time, but they had me down as the mastermind.
Sure.
So they said, look, if he takes the 13, we're only going to do it as a global plea. The other guys got to take, they'll get less, but it's only if you guys all do it together. Otherwise, no pleas, we're going to go to trial. So, so I said to my co-defendants, I go, look, what do you guys want to do? They go, Louis, it's a good deal for us. Yeah. They go, let's
Because they weren't old.
No.
They were young kids,
No,
right?
they were all older than me. I was the kid on the indictment.
Okay.
So they were all older than me, but they were young still. Yeah, you're talking 35.
Yeah.
They were a little older than me, but they're still young.
But they were under you.
They were under me. Yeah. Everybody in my crew was 35 to 45.
Right.
And then the fence who gave us up was probably 65. So everybody, I was the kid on the indictment. When they said, from what I understood, is when my fence went sour, and he said to the FBI agents, this kid did all of these heists, and I was only 21, 22, 23 when I'm doing them.
Right.
24, and that's when I finally went away, 25.
Right.
From what I understood, because the guy, his kid was in the room, and the kid told me, assuming it's true, he says that their mouths hung open. They're like, they couldn't believe that all these major heists that were like on a level with Jimmy Burke from the Lufthansa heist were being done by a kid.
Yeah.
So, and now you wonder why your father wanted to kill me. I'm doing all that, and then I'm going to sleep at your house on the weekends. So, my head was up my ass too.
It's all right.
And I don't realize I could bring heat to Rita because you don't know better.
Right.
And just like your father don't realize I'm doing this to my daughter, I'm doing this to my wife.
Right.
When your mind is consumed by that crap, you're involved in it to such a degree where you don't think about those things. Now I would say, if I was going to like steal a pack of gum and you're in the car outside, I would say, I can't do that.
Right.
Rita's in the car.
Right.
Bubblicious. What happens if they put the Bubblicious on her? Right? Like, like that's how I would think now.
Right.
Back then, I'm like, who gives a shit? Rob the whole store. Really, let's get out of here.
Right.
So like you don't think. But anyway, so I take the 13 years because my co-defendants thought that was the best deal for all of us. I said maybe, and probably was the best for me too.
Sure.
I got convicted. I was done. So I go on my merry way. And then as you'll remember, I start writing. And you were the first one. I got to say this just to jump up ahead in the story, a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
You typed my first novel.
Oh,
my cousin
God.
Donald brought you the novel.
It was amazing.
Dropped it off by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this one comes to fruition because I absolutely loved that story. I know you cut it down now.
A lot.
You cut it down a lot, but that was amazing.
A lot.
I could say you were a historian then because the shit you were coming out with about slavery and this and that, I was blown away by it.
And tell the story because I never got the full story from you. You gave me a little
Forget
snapshot.
it. We had this.
A flood or something, right?
Yeah, we had
Let
this
me hear that again.
torrential rainstorm. It was like a mini hurricane came through. All lights out. I'm with a candle and a flashlight, typing your fucking manuscript.
You go, I typed
in
your
my
fucking thing in a boat.
Yeah.
You I was in a rowboat.
That's it. I said they could have came and picked us up in a boat. Over here, there was so much rain. But I didn't want to stop because I was loving it. And I said, I got to get it done for him. It's important. I got to get it done.
Yeah.
And I did. I got it done.
Yeah.
Got it done.
Amazing.
It was the best. It was exciting and a little adventurous because my mother's going to me, what are you doing? I said, leave me alone. I'm typing like So when that was done, I couldn't wait for it to come out.
That was sort of like, I wanted to show the people who loved me.
Yeah.
Like my father was still alive. I lost my mother when I was young. She died in my arms. My father was still alive and I knew I was breaking his heart. And I had close friends like you, my cousins, my sister, who were there for me. And I felt like I owed it to the people who were sticking it out for me not to do this shit again.
Right.
Like that was part of my thinking. There was a lot of other things that went into sort of like the equation of, the formula that woke me up and go, this is
I can't do this
not for me. Yeah, this is wrong. My mother didn't raise me to stick a gun in people's mouths.
Yeah.
This is a horrible thing to do. My mother would be turning over in her grave.
Right.
But
I mean, is that what did it for you? And had you start to read books and do what triggered it for you? Was it your mother or?
So it was a few things. I was in the hole and there was a real big moment I had with a guard. I was locked up. I was put in the hole for something I didn't do. And because I never cooperated, I would never rat on my case and I wouldn't rat in jail.
Yeah.
So I'd get stuck in the hole for something I didn't do. And I'm not going to tell the guards who did it.
Right.
And it was an assault on a guard. So it's a serious charge. And I'm going, all right, I'm stuck. What am I going to do? So I'm having words with the captain of the guards through the food slot. And at some point I reached through the food slot and I grabbed him by the tie. I got aggravated with him. And I went to yank him. And the tie came off. It was a clip-on tie. So I threw it. So I threw it out.
Yeah, that's a moment. I wish I would have been a fucking fly on the wall with
I
that.
says, you son of a bitch. I says, you wear clip-on ties. He says, you think we'd wear? He goes,
Right.
I remember.
You didn't get choked.
Yeah, he stood up and there was this reinforced glass
Sure.
above the food slot. He goes, you think we'd wear real ties with you animals in here? He says, look at yourself. You're an animal, he said. And he goes, and as if this prison isn't enough, you're in a small cage, he says. That's how much of an animal you are. Something along those lines. It's years ago. I don't remember verbatim. But I remember going, oh, shit, I am an animal. And my mother didn't raise me like this. My mother's family was crooked. Not to the extent that your father, that life he lived. He wasn't, they weren't running anything.
Right.
But my grandfather came home. He was a World War II hero. And he came home, he took numbers on the side at the bar. He used to work construction all day. He was in the union.
Right.
They drove bulldozers, excavators, operating engineers union. And then at night he went to the bar. He ordered a Manhattan and he would take numbers at the bar. My uncle was also in the same union. He was one of the best operating engineers you could imagine. He won contests where he takes the bucket and he picks up an egg without breaking it in the giant bucket.
Stop.
Yeah, incredible. He was like, they knew if they put my uncle would go to jail. He was a hijacker. So my uncle would go to jail. He'd be in Sing Sing for like 3 or 4 years, and he would get out. And the second he got out, the union would put him on a job because they knew that he did twice the work of somebody else, one man. So that's how good of an operating engineer he was. But at the same time, he's hijacking trucks, but he wouldn't rat either, by the way. My mother's side, none of them were rats, which I still feel like people could say, well, if you turned your life around, why do you still dislike the rats? Because you know what? I don't believe in telling on your friends. I don't believe in pointing the finger and going, it's not me, it's him. Lock him up. Don't lock me up.
Right.
Do your time. If you made a mistake in life, pay for it. You pay your dues. And then if you want to change your life, that's fine. But after you suffered the consequences, you can't say, I don't want to suffer the consequences because I'm ready to change. No, you got to suffer the consequences. That's life. And you're gonna suffer them one way or another. So my uncle one time got caught. I remember I used to visit him in Sing Sing. And I remember years later, because I did state time and federal, and I'm pulling up to Sing Sing and I'm going, wow, I haven't been here since I was like 5. You know, but like, is it destined? Is it in our blood? That's why, you know, your life is incredible where you don't know nothing else but that. Not that you were going to become a big mobster, but you always saw clearly, and a lot of women don't.
Right.
You ever saw everything clearly, but you'd say, okay, this is my father. I have an obligation to him as his daughter. I love him, but I don't approve of this shit.
Right.
You know, I remember that from then.
Yeah.
You know, where you felt like that. And I remember you'd have like, I'd pull up in your driveway and you have a little minivan with 10,000 balloons in the back. And I come inside and go, what the frick is you doing? What are you doing? You go, oh, I got a balloon company.
Yeah.
And you're running around with the balloons. So like, you didn't want every mafia princess in the world whose father's worth, what, $150 gazillion, I don't know,
Right.
would go, Dad, Dad, I'm ready, Dad.
Right.
You know, Dad, I need this. Dad, I need that. I don't want nothing to do with this. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do everything on my own. And you always did that. Yeah. Oh, and I so respected that from then. And you had like this hard work ethic, which must have been in your blood from generations, because I don't know where it came from. If your father's walking around in a bathrobe, you know, where does this hard work ethic come from?
Yeah. I mean, my mother was, you know, a housewife, she was great, but she only worked, you know, maybe a few years in her life. And then once she got married, that was it.
So you got it in you, like, and you were always doing something.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And then you go, I'm becoming a massage therapist now. I'm going to buy massage tables. I came to visit you. You got Indian spirit stuff all over. And I'm like, wow, this place is beautiful. Like, where does this all come from? I don't know. But you were always going independent.
That was spirit. I mean, that was them like really intervening and me connecting to my higher self and healing all the wounds, you know, from the family and all that, which brought me to where I am today. So that's why I love, you know, telling your story, because you went from where we both were. We've changed our lives completely now,
Oh, completely. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
things that and look, still, when I think of my father, I love him. I love my mother. I love the whole family, even though it was what it was.
Gotta.
You know, still love them, forgive them for everything.
Still your family.
You gotta move forward. Just because I didn't agree with it, or it's not the way my life was gonna go because I didn't want that in my life. The way I went about forgiving was to be able to put myself in somebody else's shoes. I had to imagine myself, what would it be like for me to be my father and have to make all these decisions, right? Or to be my mother and love someone so deeply that no matter what he did, she stayed.
Yeah.
You know, even though I begged her at times, what are you doing? Like, go get a life, right?
Yeah.
But
That was her life.
it was her life, and that's what she wanted.
I'll tell you a nice thing. When I was doing my research, and we'll get back to the history at some point, but when I was doing my research for the history, eventually in volume 3, he plays a small role because he's young when he starts to come up. He plays a small role in volume 1, where I touch on when he shot Frank Costello.
Right.
And he's in and out. It's like a chapter. But in volume 3, he takes center stage with a lot of the other guys, the big guys. And he was probably the biggest of all of them. And when I was doing my research on him, you couldn't help if you could get your mind, if you're a regular citizen out there,
Sure.
and you're a legitimate person, you've worked your whole life, and you say, well, no criminal is good. If you could get past that and now weigh out within that world, who was he? And you couldn't help but like him. When you come across, time and again, you come across things, not only where he did it by the book, not only that, these are the rules, I don't break them.
Right.
These are the rules. I didn't make them, I don't break them. And he could make them if he wants to change them, but he didn't. These are the rules. But the other thing too is he's away now. And I never really he's away, and when guys are away, I'm sending kites back and forth. When Joe Butch Correo was away, we'd send a kite back and forth. It's like a little message in jail. Convicts going to Rochester or something where Joe is. Do me a favor, say hello to Joe, tell him Louis loves him. I'm going to give you a little note. Joe sends one back. So I had no contact with your father for obvious reasons.
Sure.
Hey, I'm the guy you wanted to kill. I'm the one who thought it was fine that your daughter was gay, by the way. Okay. So I got no contact with him, so I'm doing research now. And they eventually, the prosecutors, because they want to know what is on his mind, they get prison guards and they talk to them. This is after the cases are all wrapped up. They want to know how Chin thinks. And he was talking to one prison guard, and a couple of inmates were questioned too. And he said to them, look, you got to do what you got to do in this world. You got to take care of your family. And, it was an important thing because that was his mind. Whether he could have did something else, he couldn't have, people could argue that till they're dead.
Oh, forget it.
Right. But in his mind, he says, you got to take care of your family. Now, eventually it became 2 families and a bigger family. So he's got 3 families he's taking care of.
Right.
2 of his own.
Right.
And the larger family that he's the head of.
Right.
But that little statement in and of itself, and that same guy was asked, did you like him? And he says, I couldn't help but like him, he says. He goes, he was the kind of guy, he said, where he commanded respect. He never demanded respect. He never asked for respect. But the way he handled himself and conducted himself, he just commanded it, he said. And they says, well, how could you give us an example? Like, what did all these transcripts were like really, really interesting to read.
Wow.
Yeah, I should get you copies of them. They're
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah.
Would love that.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. So he goes, no, no, he was just a normal guy. I really can't put my finger on it. But he was a likable guy. And if he could do something for you, he did it for you, But he goes, just who he was and how he handled himself. He commanded respect. It's interesting. And, a book could be written about that too, by the way. If you could take, I wrote Mob Rules.
Right.
What the Mafia Can Teach a Legitimate Businessman, which turned out to be an international bestseller. I never knew it would be.
Right, of
But
course.
you could use your father as a real, like a paradigm as to how to act and be the CEO of a company. If you strip away all the violence, if you strip away that part of his life and you say, how do you act? Who are you? How do you treat other people? Oh my gosh, they're saying this. And everybody who's interviewed, nobody goes, oh, he's a prick.
Right.
You didn't get one of them.
Right.
And believe me, the prosecutors would have loved to jot that down.
Exactly.
So it's not there. It's only compliments coming from the prison guards, coming from the fellow inmates who are quote unquote kind of going behind his back to inform on him because they're being questioned, and they still can't think of anything bad to say about him.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing, an interesting insight into him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're telling me this because some of the inmates actually have reached out to me and wrote me letters about being in jail with him and talking with him, and he would, that how much he helped them. And I'm thinking, oh my God, even there, he just was that charismatic energy that he walked into a room, and if he smiled, forget it. He could win you over in 3 seconds. He had the best smile. Warming.
You
know
got
what I
that.
mean?
You got that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do. You win everybody over, whoever you meet. Yeah, 40 years later, started with me.
Yeah.
And you can't even argue that because I was a kid who was full of testosterone at that time.
Right.
I'm looking at every woman in the world as a target. God forgive me, women forgive me.
Yeah.
That was me then. I was a kid.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, every woman is like, can I get down her pants and how fast?
Right.
And you're gay.
Right.
And I'm falling in love with you. I don't even care.
Right.
Who cares? I'm spending my weekends by your house.
Right.
Because you
But
had
there was
that. You
there's
had
that camaraderie too, where we came from, how we grew up,
Yeah.
the whole thing,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what made it the greatest.
Yeah.
Seriously. So we're like brother and sister.
Yeah. Do you remember the big Cadillac you used to drive too?
Oh my God.
doing in
Was
it?
I look like this big in
You were
it?
this big in it.
Right?
It looked like the car was on a ghost ride until the door opened.
That was it.
Until the door opened. And then we went one time, your mother, the Lincoln, she had a Lincoln, your mother.
Yeah, it was rare, but that we did have a Lincoln.
Yeah.
It was normally a Cadillac.
Yeah.
but yeah.
And we went to the Lincoln dealer.
Yeah.
And they're falling over themselves for your mother, and she's totally grounded.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what they like.
Doesn't flinch, nothing.
Nothing. She's not taking advantage of it.
Right.
She was totally like, "This is a nuisance, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's get the Lincoln out of here as soon as possible, whatever."
Right.
But they're falling over them, Mrs. Gigante,
Right.
which was hilarious. But yeah, you always
She
had
was-
big cars, and she was kind of petite too.
She was. She was
Yeah.
only 5'1",
Yeah.
something like that. And I remember
And
that's
gorgeous, by the way.
She was.
Beautiful.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I was the one.
No, I was saying when it's the only thing she really loved was having that car. And it wasn't because it was a Cadillac. It was just she loved the car.
Right.
You know, because jewelry for her was nothing. Yeah, but people would think because if she had like a beautiful, like, let's say fake Macy's ring on,
Yeah.
like it looked diamonds and all that, people would think it came from my father.
Right.
But no, she would prefer to wear crap.
Yeah.
Like, not crap,
How
but you
bad
know
is a
what I mean.
coney on? She wouldn't have cared.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's not crap, but it wasn't what she could have wore.
Right.
She just didn't, those weren't the things that were, her thing
Important
was her
to her.
family.
That's it.
That was it.
How about the rosary?
That was
Right? But that's your names.
top
Yeah.
on the list, top
Yeah.
3 on the list, the
Yeah.
rosary. Yeah, it spelled out all our names.
Yeah.
So Roseanne, Olympia, Sal, Andrew, Rita,
So she grew
Yolanda.
up in the same neighborhood, the West Side, right?
She grew up in the West Side. Yeah.
Same thing.
So she was on Thompson.
Uh-huh.
My father was on Sullivan.
Was she Nobly Don too? I know
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, but her father was Rome. She was like 25% Rome.
Okay.
I think it was 25% Rome and
So my grandmother, who's Bardes, used to say to my grandfather, because Bardesi is like very, very hard to follow. It's like a butchered part of the English. It's
Yeah.
like Chinese Italian.
Mano.
Hard to follow. So she used to say, I speak proper Italian. And my grandfather used to say in Italian, however he said it, oh, an aristocrat, like, oh, gentile, yeah.
Yeah.
They considered somebody from Rome, from the Southern Italians. Oh, you think who you are from Rome? Yeah. It's kind of funny.
You know, and I look at them as barbarians. Like when you see all the movies and everything, they weren't the greatest people, the Romans.
the
You know?
Romans, yeah, no.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
But Naples, they're very, again, a very,
Warm.
lovely, warm.
Warm.
Yep.
When I did a documentary there, all the kids I'm interviewing, it was 10 years ago, so I was a little younger, and they were a little younger than me. But I'm interviewing these guys, so we're on the set with them.
Yeah.
Morning, noon, and night. We go to dinner, and they go, we're going to take you to a nice Italian restaurant, they said. So we went down these little narrow streets where you could only get up and down them with a scooter.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to find this place if you're a tourist.
Right.
And we go and we start eating dinner. And we're eating dinner, and I had a manana sauce, but another guy's got a different this, that. And these guys are reaching across the table, and they're going like this with the bread and my sauce. And then I'm trying theirs, and I'm saying, look at this. I only know them a day, 2 days. These are the Nobly Dons. This is how I grew
That's
up.
how they share.
This is like, it was so warm to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you're with Americans,
Yeah.
and you reach across the table and you dip your bread in their plate,
Yeah, you get stabbed with a fork.
yeah. I'll never eat dinner with this man again. He's a barbarian.
Right.
This man's an animal. Meanwhile, I felt so at home when they did that, and I'm doing it back to them.
Sure.
Oh, it was great. So I
love
felt
it.
like, and here I am in the center of Naples,
Yeah.
which is like my mother's father was Nobly Don. Her mother was Sicilian, and then my father's parents were both Bardes. Yeah, so I had a little bit of a mix. And as you know, like Italians is so like where you're from. I was like a mutt growing up.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so, but
Well, for me, I didn't care who you were. Like, I was friends with everybody.
me too.
You know,
Yeah,
could care less. But back then, I know it was like
it was different then.
So different.
Yeah, it's different.
All right, so we're at the point where I'm typing for you.
Oh, so we didn't finish the guard.
Oh, yeah. Go
So I
ahead.
wake up and I go, son of a bitch. I go, my mother didn't raise me like this.
Yeah.
And then I start to think about all the different things that I've done, and it weighed so heavily upon me that I just wished like the cinder block ceiling fell on my head. Like I just want to end it now. I'm not going to hang myself, but boy, if that ceiling fell, I'd be happy.
Right.
Like it's done. And I started to come out of it and I came out of the hole eventually. I didn't assault the guard, so they didn't charge me with it, but I spent time in the hole because they punished me for it anyway.
Sure.
But nobody could actually say I did it. They didn't know who did. The guard said it came from over there, and everybody around me was older than me. I was the youngest guy there, so they figured, take the kid. The kid must have did it. But I didn't. It was an older guy from Sicily, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So in the end, I come out of the hole and I asked my friend Fat George DeBello, who's the late Fat George. I loved him.
I remember Fat George.
How I loved him. You met him. You
Yeah.
know him. Yeah. When I was
Great guy.
when I was going to first introduce him to you, he ended up loving you.
Yeah.
When I was going to first introduce him to you, I said, by the way, George, I explained you, I didn't mention anything mob, nothing like that. And then like right before the last second, I might have said, by the way, just so you don't say the wrong thing, it's Chin's daughter. And he says, Chin, oh shit. He goes, they're all the same. I go, no, she's different. And he goes, don't tell me. He knew them all. He knew every mafia princess there was.
Right.
He goes, they're all the same. I says, no, I'm telling you, she's different. I said, she's a doll. I said, and he ended up loving you. Yeah.
I had so much fun with him.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So
All right, so you go in the hole.
I asked him, do me a favor, send me books when I got out of the hole. I wanted to read. I'm playing pinochle every day. I'm partners with Little Vicarina Sr., he got just voted onto the commission table with your father. Your father voted him on.
Okay.
And he was a gem of a guy. He's doing life. He's still alive. He's in his 90s, 91
wow.
or 2. Yeah. He remembers certain things like I picked up the phone one time when he called home from jail. He says, hey, Vic. He says, hey, Louis, how you doing? But he's got that sort of mind where he could remember me right away, but it's not all there. So like when my Aunt Gloria was dying, I went to visit her in a home, and they said she doesn't remember anything. And I walked up behind her. I hadn't seen her in 20 years because I went to jail.
Yeah.
All those years. And by the time I came home, I got around to going to visit her, and I tapped her on the shoulder, and I go, hey, Aunt Gloria. She turns around, she goes, hi, Louis. I go, oh my God, my hair stood up. And that was it though.
Yeah.
Everything else she couldn't remember. It was like I was talking to somebody who wasn't even there.
Right.
But she remembered that. So like Vic Sr. is like that now, like when he called home.
Sure.
I says, hey, Vic, hey, Louis, right away. So anyway, going back, I was playing pinochle in jail. He was my pinochle partner.
Okay.
So I come out of the hole and he goes, I'm waiting for you because we were winning. And we used to bet the pinochle. You know, you bet in jail and then guys straighten it out for you outside.
Okay.
So he goes, I'm waiting for you. I can't win without you. He says, come on, get it. I go, Vic, I'm done. I'm done with pinochle. I says, I just got to clear my head. I said, I had like an awakening in the hole. So I called up George. I says, George, do me a favor, send me in books. He says, what do you want to read? I said, I have no idea.
Everything and anything.
Yeah. So he started sending me books. And at some point then, you started sending me books. My cousin's sending me books. My cousin Don. My sister's sending me books. My friends. And
how many books were you reading a week?
I started reading. Eventually, I got up to speed. The first book I read took a long time to read. Like I couldn't get through a paragraph without having to look up like
words.
a dozen words. I don't know. I don't have a vocabulary.
Right.
And then then I would try to use the words in a sentence and I'd F it up. You know, I eventually met a corporate attorney who was doing time for fraud and that. And I'd say the word completely out of context and he'd go, oh, you're butchering the English language, he goes. That's not how you use the word.
Right.
But he was kind enough, after he'd make a big fuss about it, he was kind enough to instruct me and tell me this is how you use that word.
Right.
And it was so helpful. So he's teaching me how to use these words. I remember when I went on a lawyer visit one time, and I said to the lawyer, I said, are you trying to dissuade me? He goes, what the fuck is dissuade? And I go, don't dissuade me. And he goes, you mean dissuade you? He goes, I'm not trying to dissuade you. Yeah, so I go, that's the word. You know, like I couldn't pronounce them. I didn't know how to use them in context, but I'm slowly learning. Right. And you guys were all, thank God, sending me in books, so I kept going. And so eventually I got up to speed. I built my vocabulary, better understanding. And at one point, 400-page book, I pick it up in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I sometimes skip chow. Sometimes I bring the book to chow. Sometimes I just leave and run back to the book, and I'd fall asleep with the book on my chest, but I usually finished a 300 to 400-page book every day. Wow. Yeah, so every day I would read one book every day. So seven times seven books, 30 books a month. I'm knocking out. And each book, because I don't have anybody sort of like, it's no curriculum, there's no university.
Sure.
So like each book would be a bibliography. Once I discovered that there was a bibliography in the back,
Yeah.
then each book led to another book. And I'd say, where'd that information come from? I want to read about that. Where'd that? And then I'd probably
Never
call
ended.
you up and go, send me a book about this, that. And you're like, what the fuck is he up to now?
Right.
You know,
right.
but that's where it's coming from. It's just like one thought, one thing is coming to another. And then at some point, I'm with my father on a visit. I'm thinking about everybody's helping me. And I go, I don't want to do this to them again. You know, like I was away with guys that burned bridges.
Yeah.
And you want to say to them, how many times you're going to get locked up and rely on whoever and expect them to just keep coming back for you? You know, like how many times you're going to do this to your wife,
Right.
to your daughter, to your sister, to your mother, to your girlfriend? Eventually they're going to say enough is enough. I can't do it anymore.
Of course.
So yeah, I didn't want to do that to my loved ones. So that was another thing. And then the other thing, so a lot of things are happening at once. The other thing is everybody's ratting. And I'm going, I don't believe in this. You know, like you got to follow through with, I don't believe in this life anymore, but that doesn't mean I got the okay to rat. You know, a lot of guys too, they won't rat because they think they're going to go home and get a promotion, make more money. You know, so they'll stick out a short bid only for that.
Right.
Once they get the big one, then they say, I'm done. Me, I'm doing it and I got no intention of going back. So it's not like, so it's the easiest thing for me now to rat because I'm never going to see them again. I'm done with this life.
Of course.
But I still can't do it.
I get it.
Can't do it.
I get it.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
Your whole family.
Yeah.
Your whole family, you know, even all the women, Roseanne, Yolanda, your mother, no rats. Everybody just going, okay, this is our life. This is the way it is. We're not going to turn on him. We're not going to stab him in the back.
Of course.
We still love him. He's still our family and we love him. So just think about that. You know, that's like it's a version. It's just a different version of what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the point now where you're starting to write. And, you know, you got all this vocabulary. You're thinking, I'm going to write something, right? I mean, I want to get into also religion and all that, but we're gonna put that to the side for a second because I want you to tell me what made you want to write your first book.
I'm reading constantly. And
Yeah.
I love reading. Just the exercise of reading and learning and knowledge is incredible to me. And I'm learning more in a little cell than I've ever learned when I was part of the world.
Right.
So I'm learning more about the world now that I'm removed from it. And now I see that there's a whole geography, the whole earth. I only knew this Queens. You know, I made a trip to California to knock off an army car. I go to stay at Rita's house in Jersey on the weekends. I go by my aunt and uncles and my cousins on Long Island. But it's very small. I don't know China. I don't know Russia. I don't know South and Central America. These are things I've never, you know, unless I had to go there for something,
Sure.
for a reason, a criminal reason. I don't know these places. So I'm starting to learn about the earth, starting to learn about the world, starting to learn science. I'm starting to learn about astronomy. I studied law. I reversed one of my own cases. I had 3 cases, so I was able
We'll
to
talk
reverse
about
one.
that too.
Yeah. And at some point I go, I think I could write. But what happened was now I read about, I'm in there's strong racial lines in prison where everybody's at each other's throats. And I didn't believe that. You know, I believe I dated Asian girls, black girls, Indian girls. I grew up in a melting pot in Queens.
Sure.
So like, I can't imagine hating somebody for their identity.
Right.
It's just beyond me. But I'm realizing that the institution of slavery, as I'm watching all these strong racial lines, I'm realizing the institution of slavery was horrible because I was reading a book about Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
about slavery, and I'm going, oh my gosh, humans were sold on slave blocks? Now, had I been taught this in school, I wasn't paying attention because I never did. I cheated my way through school.
Sure.
You know, high school, never went to college, but cheated my way through grammar school and high school. I had people help me with my homework. I was already running a chop shop in high school and started hijacking trucks like towards the end or right before I left or right after. So I'm like, okay. So in the end, I realized that I'm in chains now, shackled hand and foot. And I know what it feels like. Not that I'm a slave, but I know what it feels like to be in chains, and I deserve it. So imagine if somebody didn't deserve it,
right.
and they're just in chains for what? The color of their skin? this is bizarre to me.
Sure.
Okay, this sucks and I'm suffering, but I did something to deserve it. So I'm like, okay, so that's weighing me down at the time. And I'm going, all these racial lines still exist today. And then I go to sleep one night and I dreamt of an African-American woman on a slave block. And in the morning, I started writing the book that you would eventually type into the computer.
Wow.
So I wrote a novel about the antebellum South. Now, when I wrote that, I didn't know anything about political correctness. I didn't know anything about cultural appropriation. I wasn't trying to steal anybody's identity.
Of course.
I'm though an Italian-American male writing about an African-American, half white, half black female. So it's like completely not me, which I thought writing was supposed to be. But I did have a reckoning when I came home eventually, and I had problems getting to people, publishers and agents and editors to read that book because of the boundaries that society has set around, these particular boundaries.
Lou, this is like, I can't wait to get to the other pieces of this because I remember this beginning for you. And who knew you were going to be, going on to make like bestsellers and flying all over the world, and I mean, then to become a historian. But what you've witnessed, in your life, and then have brought to the table now, and now after 40 years sitting with me talking about it, I can't wait to talk to the audience about the books that you've done, but in particular this trilogy, right? This Borgata Trilogy. I'm reading it and I'm blown away. Absolutely fucking blown away by it. I just, so stay tuned because there's so much more to come and Louis will be back. Welcome to the first episode of the Borgata Trilogy. And I am here with Louis Ferrante. I'm Rita Gigante. And we got some shit to be giving you here.
Boy, do we. Great to be with you, Ray.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that you're here.
Yeah.
Let's start off. Let's tell people how we know each other.
Okay.
So it's probably about 40 years now.
It's 40 years.
40 years. Should I do the beginning over?
I thought you nailed it.
All right.
I thought you did. Yeah. My teeth are fine.
Yeah.
No pizza in my teeth.
No. You're good.
Oregano. Nothing. Okay. Good.
All right, so start from where you start.
Okay.
Just start over again. Just one more time.
All right. All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Borgata series with Rita and Lou.
Borgata Trilogy.
Fangul.
Yeah. I think you could probably take the first one in the end, but go ahead.
Welcome to the first episode of the Borgata Trilogy series. Trilogy?
The Borgata Trilogy with
Okay.
Rita and Lou. Yeah.
This is what happens when I have to do it 100 fucking times.